So we are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the final wrap-up day of the Accountability Summit that actually came up with a name after we went live the first day, which has been absolutely fun. So everybody here has gotten a chance to share their stories. It was absolutely phenomenal. If you haven't got a chance to see them, if you're catching this on YouTube, it'll all be in one string. You'll be able to go see the Accountability Summit. There, if you're on Facebook, of course, you'll have to scroll through everybody's timeline. Um, if you have any questions from these awesome leaders, highly recommend you just jump in and tag them. And if there's something that just felt right about whoever you talked to here or whoever you saw their interview, you ever heard their story, and you're looking for a home to do business, definitely reach out to them and plug into them. The cool thing about what we do and the tools and processes and systems that we use is that I know my goal and my personal mission is to make an impact. And just from this last year, of all the people that reached out to me, and all the people that say thank you, and all the people that said, hey, I used your technique, or I used what you said, or I reached out to somebody when I was scared, or your numbers inspired me. I'm not making a dime from them, but I'm making an impact, and that's the whole point. So our systems and processes. So if you resonate with somebody, get in their business, join up with them, get in their camp, learn how to market, learn how to prospect, learn how to follow up, learn how to get over your fears, learn how to adjust to the mindset. And they won't get mad at you if you go out and conquer the world and decide not to do business with them anymore, because they've made that impact. I guarantee you everybody here feels the same way. So we'd love you to stay in our business, but we won't get mad at you if you go somewhere else and your dream is to, go out and create the new XYZ PDQ widget that, saves trees in the outback of Africa or whatever, right? So won't get mad about you doing that. So we're just gonna have some fun. If you're out there and you have questions, what I would like you to do, if you have a question, just put it in the queue. Put it in like type the question and just sit there and wait. It may get answered. And we're just going to do a round robin, and we're going to go through. So I'm going to ask the first question. The first question is, what is, and we're going to go round robin, we're going to do Kendra, Ninfa, Jacques, and Doc Gardner. So what would you say is one of the most important things? I'll use the word things. What is one of the most important things that you have to have if you're going to be successful in business? Kendra, go.
Grit. Grit is something that is very, very important, I think. And I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to let someone else go off of that because I have a feeling there's something that's going to tie into that. So who's next?
Ninfa.
Mindset. So grit and mindset go together. If you don't have the mindset to believe that you can do it, or even just to envision if you do it, how that's going to feel, you won't have the grit. You won't be able to do the rest of the work. It's just like, it's a little bit much at times. So it's like, it's really good to have that mindset where you're like, I can do this. I've seen other people do it. So therefore, I'm going to do the grit. I'm going to get it down dirty, get it done. And it winds up being fun. So you just got to have that mindset and have the grit. I agree with Kendra on that.
Grit and mindset. Jacques?
Well, you got to know where you're going.
Yes.
Got to know where you're going. Can't feed that GPS without a destination.
Yes.
All right. So we got grit. We got mindset. I cannot type. Somebody else got to type. So somebody out there in Facebook line, you can type. So we got grit, we got mindset, and you got to know where you're going. You got to have a direction. Doc Gardner, I bet she's going to come in with something completely different.
Well, you know what? Jack kind of stole my thunder there. But I would say, like having that massive vision and making it concrete, putting it down on paper. Because you know what? I was gritty and I was hardworking and I thought I was positive and like had a good mindset. I didn't. But I didn't have that big vision. And I always joke around like I was the fittest person on the bench of my varsity soccer team, right? Like I had the work. I wasn't the most skilled, but I was always working hard. And I was working hard in my business, but I was spinning my wheels. And so really getting very clear on what this could be and where I can go and who I can take with me. And it's not, so Jacques, there we go. I'm going to build on it. Jacques says, you got to know where you want to go. And then I think you want to explode that and make your vision big enough for everyone you want to take with you. And that's when you're going to go to the moon.
Absolutely awesome. So we have grit, we have mindset, we have direction, we have vision. And my answer to tie all that together is have a mentor and a coach to help us do that.
True.
To help us do that. So for sure. So that was for the if you're watching, well, you've got to be watching this anyway. Shoot your questions, get your questions ready. If something comes up or something just pops into your brain and you say, man, I got to ask this question. Question number two. You're starting a brand new business from scratch today. Not in the business you're in now, brand new, zero. What's the first thing you do? Kendra.
Honestly, I would say get into rank makers. I would say get into rank makers, because if you don't really know what you're doing, that is going to give you a platform to know where you're going, like what you need to be doing. Because I personally, in my business, the first year and a half, I was literally looking for, what am I supposed to be doing? Like, who am I supposed to be talking to? How does this work? How do I speak to people and not sugarcoat it, but also not be on their profiles and saying, oh, you've got a nice cat. Oh, I love your puppy. Like, how do I build my business? That was my biggest question when I started. Like, where does this go? And I'm grateful that Ray Higdon came across my screen one day for Free Coaching Friday, because I wouldn't be here today if he wouldn't have been if he wasn't serving his community, trying to better people's lives. So I would get into rank makers. That is not number one. If I'm crossing paths with people and they don't have any direction, they're like, oh, this is so hard, I don't know what to do. I'm like, are you open to figuring out what I've been doing as far as helping me build my business? Are you needing something to help you move forward? And they're like, yeah. So I'm like, okay, are you open to me sending you a link? Just because they told me they wanted to know more information, I'm not going to assume they want that link, right? And so they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay, I'll send you the link. I don't know if it's open now or not, but get on the waiting list if you're not. That group has changed my life. It has forever changed it. So rank makers it is.
Awesome.
I love that. Yeah, I would say, especially if you don't know what rank makers is, if you don't know even to go there, find your upline, and not just your upline that just brought you in, but the one that's 3 or 4 ahead of you, the one that's, top 1% in the company, because they're going to help you if you reach out to them and just ask them, hey, how did you get started? What are the things that you would get a newbie starting on in this network marketing company to do? And I found that very helpful when I got started. And then I found rank makers, which is awesome. That was so much happened there. But it's really great to be able to, especially if you don't know where to go. And maybe right now you're unable to afford to pay for something extra right now or what have you. It's really good to go highest up your rank you can find, of somebody that's really doing the work and is doing it today. They weren't just top 1% 10 years ago. They're now. And ask them, what would you do? What are you doing right now? What books are you reading? What would you be doing when you invite? How does that all work? Because I believe that they'll have the answer for you for sure. At least to get you started.
Awesome. So join rank makers and then plug into your upline that's going somewhere, that's the mover and shaker.
Yes.
Jacques.
Have a family conference or a conference with your significant other and let them know what's coming down.
Okay.
And most importantly, what's in it for them.
Oh my God, I love that.
Wisdom right there.
Yeah.
Yes.
So important.
Absolutely. Keep the family in the loop. And I love that. I'm going to expound on that a little bit. One of the most important things that we hear is, how do I get a supportive spouse? And Jacques, I think, really hit it on the head right there when he said, let them know what they get out of it. Let them know what their reward is going to be. Let them know what's in it for them while you're doing all the stuff over here as your side hustle. So love that answer.
Yeah.
Doc Gardner.
I would say I love what everyone said. I love what Nympha said about plugging into that, like that plugged in upline. And I look at that relationship as like, how can I earn their time? They're super busy. They've got a ton of people that are reaching out, asking questions. And so I'm always looking at, am I doing what they told me to do the last time? Am I being fully coachable? And if I'm not, why am I not? Because I think this is something that, you know, we sign up for a business, we say this is something we want to do. We say, yes, absolutely, I'm coachable. And then someone will tell us it's really simple. You just do X, Y, and Z. What we do is really, really simple.
Very
Complicated because we have all these filters and these thought patterns and these fears and our ego, we complicate it. So if you can listen to your plugged in upline and they will say, this is exactly what you're going to do. You're going to make your contact list. You're going to qualify that list. You're going to share what you're doing with them. Some of them will join. Rinse and repeat. Like it's as simple as that. Some of them will buy, some of them will join. And then look at all the places. Why am I not doing exactly what the successful 6, 7 plus, figure earner is telling me to do? Those are all my fears. Those are all my hangups. That's where I'm actually not coachable, even though I'm smiling and nodding, saying, yeah, I got it. You're not quite coachable. And then work on that. It's not going to happen overnight.
right.
Just recognize those and work on those skills that you need to be able to do the simple things.
Amen.
So, I heard so much. I heard so much in there. And one of the things that we hear in terms of, okay, there's rank makers, there's plugging into your upline, there's getting mentorship, there's getting your spouse involved. And it looks like Bobby's trying to join us, but he's having the same issues. It says device is not connected for some reason. I'm not sure why his phone isn't connecting on StreamYard, but hopefully we'll get you guys in front of our sixth compadre here, our sixth musketeer. He's an absolutely phenomenal leader. But being coachable and having a duplicatable system it's easy to say that. It's like, yeah, I'm coachable. Yeah, I can do that. And it's not easy to be coachable because we have all this garbage up here that drags us down. That's this, the little, whatever you call them, angel devils sitting on our shoulders, past bad experiences. So for me, my answer, if you're brand new and you're getting ready to, and this is day one and you're getting ready to start a business, is have realistic expectations that stuff is going to be different. You're still going to have realistic expectations, the expectations that you're not going to get rich overnight, the expectation that life is going to happen, the expectation that you're getting ready to go somewhere and there's a storm outside and a tree falls on a branch or your basement floods, or just real life is going to happen. So no matter what we plan or what we do, we got to have realistic expectation. If you're up in front of a room, if you're in your first time meeting, you hear somebody stand up in front of a room and say, I just made $10,000, and get their backstory, because I can guarantee you there's no overnight successes. Anthony Robbins actually says success happens in a moment, but it's the 17 years before that moment, moment happens. So base your experience, compare yourself to you, not to what somebody else is doing. That's my answer for the brand new person that might just be getting started. Now this is going to be a shift here. This is going to be a shift. So what would you say to somebody that's in a business, they're in a network marketing business, and they're sort of complaining and moaning that it's not going where they want to, and they're thinking about jumping ship and doing something else? Go, Kendra.
I would tell them to remember why they're doing this again, and also to think on it before they move. Like, really think about, am I moving because I'm moving forward, or I'm moving to another company because there's this shiny object that's shining in front of me, and I feel like things are going to change because that shiny object's there and other people are getting results. Really step back and think about that, because many times you can work in any business at all, like as long as it's something that is for you. But if you're chasing a shiny object, it's never going to work. It's not. It's not going to work. And it doesn't matter what business you go to. It doesn't matter if it's ground floor or whatever people may call it. If there's a shiny thing over here shining at you, really think about it. Like, am I genuinely moving to this other company because I think it is genuinely going to be better for me? Or am I doing it for this reason that my ego's here, per se? But my ego's over here telling me, oh, I can do so much. You can do so much better in this other company. No, think about it. So that's what I would say.
Nice. I like to piggyback off that too. The product that or services that you've signed on with, do you love it? Do you know the reason why you continued with that product or with that service? Because sometimes, you'll be like, oh, I need to go over to this company because I think it's going to make more money faster, whatever. But would you even like that product? Would you even like that service? And you have to like almost re-engage your brain and go, I really love this product. I mean, I really love these services. This is the reason why I joined. This is what makes me so passionate about telling people about it. And like Kendra was saying, it's about reinforcing your why. Why did you even get started? Why do you really truly love the services and products that you are providing others? And I just think that's so important. I know when I left my last company, that was the key. I liked the product a lot, but I loved the product that I'm at now. And so that made a huge difference. Hey, Bobby.
What's up?
Hey,
What's going on?
Yeah.
Hey, folks, what's going on?
For me to stay in this one this time around. So sorry about that. Hey, Bobby.
Hey, hi.
So Jock,
Right. Well, first, if somebody was asking me about it, I'd first find out whether they really want to hear my answer.
Ooh, yes.
I like that.
I really would. I would say, look, we're friends, or maybe we'll be friends if I don't know them that well. And you're asking me a question where it could get personal. Then do you really want to hear me? And if they agree, I mean, if they said, well, I want to stay friendly and right, then I'm going to I'll give them some kind of a soft answer. But if they really want to know, I'm going to be emphasizing personal development, mindset, and remind them that no matter where they go, how many times they quit, they get to take themselves with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
That's so true.
Gardner.
Boom.
Right?
I love it. And our mentor Ray Higdon, he says the grass is always greener until you have to mow it.
Woo.
Right.
Yes.
And
Yep.
Jacques, like you just said, like you caught me first when you said someone is coming and they're complaining and they're down, and I'm like, they're a complainer.
Ugh.
They will go complain somewhere else. They'll go be down somewhere else. They've got mindset work to do. Now, is network marketing the right fit for everybody? No.
Right.
Is it possible that you're in a company and something else is a better fit for you? Yes. I mean, I moved companies. I still use my old products. I still love my old products. I still love the culture over there. My new company is a better fit for me.
Right.
And so I don't think it's always the wrong thing, but I don't think you want to be leaving out of weakness. I think you want to be leaving because I'm good here, but I just like you feel it and and you're, I think you want to really have that hard look. And something that this is going back a ways, I used to struggle with depression a lot, but seasonal in particular. And I made a decision with myself. I said, you will not make any important decisions between March and April. Or sorry, November and April. So the winter, I did not allow myself. You couldn't make relationship decisions, money decisions, finance, career, nothing, because I didn't trust my brain. So I would say, you know, if you're in this moment of weakness, like you said, Nympha, like sit with it and give yourself a time frame. Maybe it's like, give it 6 months, get to your next company event. Yes. Remember why you're there. Surround yourself with people who believe more than you do in this moment. And then decide on a high rather than, I'm having a bad day, I'm Eeyore or whatever, and go be Eeyore somewhere else. That would be my take.
Yeah, absolutely. So my answer is this, and I love Ray Higgin, is the grass always greener, but also you're going to take the same lawnmower that you're cutting this grass with, and you're going to cut the new grass with it. And basically what that says is if your mindset isn't right with the company that you're at, you're not going to do anything different in the new company. The problem is it's sort of like relationships, right? We get in a bad relationship and we go, oh man, I'm going to get in another bad relationship. I get in another bad relationship. I get in another bad relationship. And the common denominator is us, right? So until we can plug into a system, a process to change our mindset and figure out that I can take the exact same 4 or 5 steps that we use to build our businesses in our company now, with a positive mindset, I can go to the next company and do exactly the same thing, use exactly the same invite script, different tool because it's presenting a different company, the exact same follow-up system, the exact same closing system, and build a business anywhere. And that's when you realize that the product in the company really doesn't matter. Now, like they said, sometimes you do have to fall in love. I changed companies. The last company I'm with, love their products, still use them every month, love the people in that company, very, very good friends, have no problem with that. But it just wasn't something I was like just in love with. And it's just like the company I'm with now is just like, it's sort of like dating somebody and they're a really nice person until you meet the person you want to be married to and spend the rest of your life with, right? So that's how I look at it if you're thinking about changing companies. So Bobby, welcome, sir. Welcome. Thanks for jumping on. Glad you're here. So next question is, there's a saying out there that says your why has to make you cry. So Kendra, tell us your why and tell us why it's important to have a why. So it's a 2-part question. Tell us your why and tell us why it's important to have a why. You can go either which way you want. You can tell us why it's important and tell you why, and then we're going to jump into some Q&As.
So honestly, the reason why you want to have a why is because there's going to be days that you feel like you don't want to do things, right? And you have to have this bigger picture of what you're going after, just like you have to have your GPS on to go wherever you're going. If you don't really know why you're doing something, then you're really not, like if you're having a bad day in your business, then you're not going to really show up like you do if you have a why. No, my why, honestly, this wasn't in my interview, but my why is to help my community. My why is to show people that there's a different way. Although I come from one of the most poorest areas in Tennessee, I'm in a different place now because I had this tweak in my mind. Like I had this thought in my mind that things could be better. And so my why is to show up big and show that, you know, life doesn't have to be like it has been in our area, you know? So that's my why. That's why I show up.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Nympha?
I love it. Yeah, it's definitely important to have a why. I'm not sure if your why has to make you cry, though. I definitely don't have a why that makes you cry for sure. But yeah, I mean, definitely what Kendra said. You know, it just basically, there's going to be days where you don't want to do it. And if you don't have anything driving you forward, driving you to something, helping you be able to make it worth your time and worth your while, it's just difficult to stick into anything, right? And that's the reason why I actually asked to form accountability group, because I needed a little extra why there. I need to be able to see, like, oh, they're doing the work, I need to do the work. Oh, okay, so there's somebody keeping going with that, because that gave me that like energy, like, ooh, if they're still in it, when you're doing it with other people, it really helps. Just like you said, Forrest, when you're running by yourself to train for a marathon or half marathon or a 5K or whatever, you're always a little slower. But then when you start to run with other people, or even just one extra person, you're always a little faster. You always got a little more energy. Because by ourselves, we really got to pick ourselves up if we're trying to get things going and keep your energy going forward. So that's the reason why I got, asked you guys to join, or reasons asked Marika to join, because I needed that, like, just a little extra, a little something to keep me going. So it's definitely important to have a why, because if you're just doing it just to be doing it, there's just no reason to be doing it. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, when people want something, they always have a why. So, and my why is a couple of things. One thing is, like, I am a professional singer, but I want to be able to sing around the world. I may not get the contract or what have you, but I would love to be my musician salaries and be able to sing around the world and not have to worry about somebody else dictating if I can do this or not. I have finances and the means to do it, and I can be able to make my dream come true. And if you want to listen, great. If you want to come along, awesome. And then also, I want to make sure that people see their dreams come true. We start to lose who we are as we get older. A lot of people telling us no, telling us what we can and cannot do. And I think we lose our childlike mind, right? Our childlike, like, we can do whatever we want to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so whatever that is for you, I want to see people to be able to do that. And then also, I am huge advocate. I got a lot of things here. Huge advocate of feeding the hungry, making sure people have food on their table, because it even today, in this situation we're in right now, people don't have food on their table. People rely on schools. They rely on these government systems or what have you to be able to feed themselves only. And it's important to have nutrition to be able to have the mind to go out and do the things you want to do. So those are my three things, and that's the reason why you should have a why.
Absolutely awesome. Bobby?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good.
So to summarize it, why? So my why is all based on fulfillment. I think everyone has their purpose for living, for life. That's just what I believe. And if you're given the opportunity to fulfill, the reason you're here, then you should not shortchange yourself. You should go after what makes you completely fulfilled. Okay, my one of the things that's going to make me completely fulfilled is being able to be around my family, immediate, extended, any level of family at any point in time. And I don't have to guess that, like, hey, I have to plan a day. You have to plan, but there's not other things holding you back, like, say, a job or commitment to to the employer and things like that. You're just free. You're just free like a bird. You could go do whatever, get up anytime, just do whatever you want to do. So life, that's the true meaning to me when it comes to my why, is complete fulfillment. And as you grow up from being a kid where you have goals, or you're free to say what you want, sometimes growing up, it tends to draw back based on who you're around, and maybe family members, or friends. So you begin to get timid, versus if you just had that attitude while growing up as a kid, to be free and say and wish for the things you really wanted. So, and doing this is like having that little person on your right shoulder, you know and they're just like pushing you on to continue to get to that point of fulfillment. So that's why having an accountability group is like that little person on your shoulder saying, hey, if you don't feel like doing it, then you're not going to get to the point where you're fulfilled. So you have to keep on going
Yeah.
to that point where it brings fulfillment, or whatever your why is. It just kind of, you live your purpose. And from that aspect, I think you're here to live your true purpose, no matter what anybody thinks. You're here to live your true purpose, and if you have direction, you're definitely going to get there, no matter how long it takes, no matter if it's going to take 20 years, 30 years from now. If you have that vision, and the why is going to get you there eventually.
Absolutely, absolutely. Jacques?
Just like that.
I don't think I have 20 or 30 years.
You don't know that, Jacques. You don't know that.
Well, I'm going for it anyway.
Jacques, you have lived a lot of wonderfulness, honey. So
No, well, my why, I really truly enjoy playing a role in other people's success. Going to company events, it's not me being on stage, it's seeing somebody going across stage that I know I had something to do with it. That's what fulfills me. All right. And
Awesome.
I don't think I'm that much different than other people. Left to my own devices, I might not do what I'm meant to be doing when I don't feel like it.
Right.
And this is where the accountability group comes in. I know you guys see when I'm working and when I'm not working. And I think I was up front. I'm a 5-day-a-week guy, and it's with AOMA. That's all out massive action. My all out isn't quite up to where your all outs are, but I'm going to get there.
good.
And it's the consistency. It's the consistency, really. Whatever that level of activity is, if you're consistent with it, you are going to get there. And if you're doing 500 reach outs one day and you're not doing any for the next 2 or 3 days, that's not consistency. So it's to go for the numbers, but it's on a regular basis, it's consistent. And it's what it gets me up in the morning. I do rise a little bit earlier than others, but I also have an afternoon nap I get to take. But
We found out.
Some of us
We found
have
out.
actually seen that. Kind of getting off the subject there, but that's my why. I really get off on seeing other people succeed, and if I had something to do with it, it makes me feel good. And leading that life puts me with the accountability group. That's our little half dozen folks here. But I like going to the generic events, and everybody that's in this industry, they're just wonderful people to be around.
Absolutely awesome, awesome. Doc Gardner?
Beautiful. Tough act to follow, all of you guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. So yeah, I agree with I don't think your why has to make you cry. I think your why has to make you work.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think you have to understand your why is going to evolve. And the longer you stay in the industry and the more you do, the bigger your why can become. So some people might start out and they're like, I don't really have a why. I'm like, it's okay. Just keep going. Like, you're here. Something brought you here. So just keep going until you figure out what that was. For me, initially, it was I wanted more time with my kids. And then I dug a little bit more and I realized, my parents gave us a whole lot, but they weren't home a whole lot. My dad was starting his own business. My mom was going through med school. And so we had a live-in nanny. Like, I want something different for my kids. I want to be as present as possible. And then it got bigger. I'm like, hey, wait a second. This is such a cool industry because I can have more time with my kids and I can teach someone else how to build something that will give them more time with their kids.
Yeah.
And that for me is like, oh my gosh. Like when you think, I want to change adults' lives, sure. But if you can look at like, how can I give kids more, and kids are our future, that just for me is like so powerful. And I just feel like I love helping people. And I went into medicine because I was like, I like helping people. I want to make them better. So I just thought that's what I was supposed to do. And now I just see this opportunity to help so many people. And so that drives me. And I would love to say it drives me every single day, but no. Some of the time it's this accountability group that drives me when I'm feeling like, oh, okay, oh, Ninfa just did, oh my gosh, okay. And I'll go reach back out to 100 people because I'm like grabbing onto her why a little bit. I'm grabbing onto Forrest's why, and so anyway, the why definitely so powerful. It can evolve. And I think you just have to trust that it's there if you haven't quite figured out what it is yet.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm sitting here listening to these stories, and I asked an initial question about why makes you cry. Then I start really digging deep while I'm listening to you guys, and I'm sitting here and I'm getting a little bit emotional because we think about why we show up and why we make an impact, and the cool thing, you have an inner circle coach who makes you dig down deep and you look for stuff. And I know on the surface, my why is to make a stupid, ridiculously crazy, stupid lot of money, right? And I know, and here's backing into that, I know as a result of doing that, I can't do it by myself. I've got to help a lot of people. I've got to reach out to a lot of people. But more importantly, I got to go all the way back to that little skinny black kid who used to open up the refrigerator at the end of the month and there was nothing to eat, right? So I think about the moms, the people, like the stories, like these people here that I've interviewed that, grow up in crappy childhoods, that grow up in places like that, and really look at that and say, okay, how do I reach out and connect with these people? Not only that, but why do I reach out and connect with these people? Is there somebody that has that, what I call the empty refrigerator? Is there something that needs to be filled? Do they need to pay off some debt? Are they a struggling mom? Are they a struggling parent? Are they just a struggling college kid? Maybe they grew up in a poor neighborhood and they're trying to figure out, like, what the heck do I do? Or maybe they're like the interview that I did this afternoon in the virtual workshop. Her mom drug her into the business at age 18. She's been in the business 15 years and basically didn't really do anything until she really embraced the why of wanting to go out and really impact the Latino community. So your why is it may make you cry some days, it may excite you some days, it may just motivate you some days, and some days you may be just like, you know what, I need to take a day off, and then you have an accountability group that's like, oh, wait a minute, I can't take a day off today because there might be some little skinny black kid who's starving, whose mom's an entrepreneur living in the projects trying to figure out how to sell tractors to people, right? Figure that one out, and it inspires and motivates us to get up every day. Or maybe it's just the self-fulfillment, like Bobby talked about. What are we fulfilling ourselves with? How are we going to feel like we're worth something, like we have purpose and drive? Or maybe it's like Jock, who's dude is 82 years old, just showing up like a 25-year-old who's looking to expand his family, who loves being in the industry, but more importantly, he's going to make an impact to somebody that's going to have generational wealth way many years down the road, after we're all gone, right? So that's the cool thing about what we do, is the things that we're going to impact people today, the little things we might say on a Facebook Live like this, that's going to spark somebody's whatever, and they're going to go out and conquer the world and impact tens of thousands of people because they heard that story, their Kendra story, Ninfa story, or Dr. Gardner's story, Jock's story, or Bobby's story. They heard that and they take that and go, well, wait a minute, those people are like me. I can run with this. So there's so much in a why. Is sometimes you just need to show up and grab onto somebody else's why. And I think somebody said that in here, and just figure it out and learn the process. Is the next thing you know, you're like, ooh, you know, and you get a coach and your coach says, well, you know what your why should be, Forrest. And then you dig deep on that. So really appreciate it. Absolutely awesome. So it's Q&A time. We got some questions out here. If you have a question, put it down in the box, and I'm trying to keep them all in one space. So if you have a question, you can go ahead and load them up. The first question comes from my awesome wife. So I'm gonna see if I can get it up here on the screen, and we'll see if we can answer this. I think it's a phenomenal question. It says, if your spouse is absolutely not interested in what you're doing, do you try to convince them to listen in, or just let them be? Anybody can answer that.
I put my hand up on that one because my husband is very supportive and has like maybe 1.5% interest in like the nuts and bolts of what I'm actually doing, and would rather do his own thing. And that's totally okay. Like, you wouldn't go and try to convince a stranger on the street to come and join you and like twist their arm and make them uncomfortable. Like, why on earth would you do that to someone you love, right? Like, they're happy, you're happy. If it's working, it's all good.
Anybody else?
I'll say something on that. If you want your spouse approval, you just got to go out there and prove yourself. When you go out there and you prove yourself, and that dollar starts coming in, and all the nice things that you were working and dreaming about starts happening, then you'll get that approval. Just go out there and prove yourself, prove your point. But you don't have to convince your spouse prior to that if they don't want to be part of what you're doing presently. Things change and situations change. You just have to go out there and prove yourself. It all lays in your lap.
And I like what Jock says. If you have a conversation with them and just let them know, this is what's going to be happening, this is what's going down. I'd love your support. But, if you're not into this at school, it's just like anything. And it's also like, even when we're out there inviting people and saying, hey, take a look at this. They want to look at it, they will. They won't. And it's okay. For whomever it strikes a chord in, they'll look at it and join and do the thing. And so that's the same when it comes to your loved ones, whether it be your parents or your husband or your wife or your brother, sister, whomever, and just what Bobby said, once you start to show that you're serious, because sometimes we've proven in the past that we weren't serious about certain things, so they've lost the interest of like being supportive or being right by your side about something. So you got to do the work. You got to show up in life. And that's what anything. People love people that are running, that are doing something, that are accomplishing things. And that goes with your family as well.
Absolutely. Anybody else?
I think they answered like everything all went together. Like, it's totally yes. Everything they said, yes. I'm right there with you.
Absolutely. One of the cool things I heard about this, and it was along the, having the supported spouse type kind of deal, is one of our business leaders had chimed in and answered this. I thought it was a very, very cool way that he put this together, is he said that if your spouse isn't supportive, or maybe they're not completely interested in, like Jock was saying, you keep them in the loop. Hey, babe, we've got an event coming up. It's exactly the same way you get people who join your company who aren't really active. You don't check in on them and make them feel bad. You give them an update and deflect, right? You update and deflect. You update them and say, hey, we've got this going on. I've got this event coming up, sweetheart. We're going to be in Houston here, or we're going to be in Vegas, or wherever it is. And I've got an award that's coming up. I've done X amount of volume. I'm going to get recognized on stage. I would love for you to be there. It's absolutely okay if you don't come, but I would love you to come out and hang out. And you don't even have to come to the event. You can just, come, and we can do dinner and a date. You update and deflect. You update and deflect, right? And you get them involved, and you get their support, because they see that you're moving, and you don't have to convince them to be in the business. You just need to convince them to be your spouse. Right? You just got to love on them where they're at, right? You just love them unconditionally, right? Your spouse doesn't have to like football because you do, right? It's that simple. We overcomplicate it. All right.
I'd like to add something here. I don't face that situation. My wife is an integral part of our business. She's she's kind of allergic to computers, but she's the extrovert of this husband-wife team. She, in person, she's very outgoing, and she's just an integral part of it. I couldn't do it without her. And but we kind of think alike. We've been together 60 years.
Wonderful.
That is awesome. I like this next question. How long have you been together in the accountability group? And do you check with each other daily?
Ooh.
Is this terrible that I have no clue how long we've been in here? Because I literally just show up and like
I'm looking.
Literally, look at you.
It's almost 2 months. It's almost 2 months.
Really?
Yeah.
Goodness.
It's like towards the mid or end of June, something like that. Yeah.
And
we do check any. Go ahead.
I literally just got in and was like, okay, let's do this, and just started taking action. I remember what date, I got in after, I don't know I think Bobby, everyone, but
I was the last one in.
Forrest, yeah. Jacques and Forrest wasn't in. I think I came in right before you two.
Yeah.
So I don't know when
the three of us. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm still trying to scroll. I can't find it. But I think Ninfa reached out to me. Maybe it was mid-June. And
I think it was.
Yeah. Sure. And then should we grab some more people? Mm-hmm. So invited Kendra and Bobby. And then we put on my big girl pants and invited Coach Forrest. But
I'm so glad you did.
It just came together so beautifully. Yes. Literally, we just, every day people put in their activity. Give or take. Sometimes there's a day you miss, checking in, but it's we're holding ourselves accountable to the group, and we just put our activity. How many people we reached out to, how many videos we sent customers, knows. If you get slammed on a reply and you don't know what to say, or if you have a big win, you share it in the group. But we keep it quite it's business. There's not a lot of chit chat, and it's just worked so beautifully.
My people.
Yeah, and
you
we're
not my people.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
And we're not calling people out I haven't seen you in here for a few days or anything. We're not doing that kind of stuff.
No,
it's not about that kind of thing. But it is about you just coming in and showing up when you do the work, and we do it daily. So somebody's posting in there daily. There's never not one time that all of a sudden nobody's posting. There's always somebody in there doing it. And our goal is to be working 5 or 7 days in the business a week in general. So if you're doing that or close to that, maybe 4 days, what have you, that's fine. But no, it's not harassing. We're not getting in your face you should be doing bigger numbers, or I haven't seen you in here, and blah, blah. People have lives, they have things to do, but at the same token, when they go in to check in, they can see, ooh, people have been working. Maybe I should do a little something myself, or what have you. So that's what it's all about.
For me, Gay, the accountability group does two things. One, it's just like Ray said, and people ask how do I come up with a topic to talk about on a Facebook Live? And he says the way you do that, you make a commitment to go live every day. You will come up with something. I've literally sat at my computer, logged on to Facebook Live, scrolling Facebook. Boom, there's my topic, and I'll talk about it. It's I make a commitment. I've got my times that I go live every day, and other than when I put some type of event like this together where I know that something's going on, I'm going to make that commitment. The same thing in the accountability group is I made a commitment to show up in the accountability group. Now, it was originally a 90-day accountability group, but I have a feeling it's going to go a lot longer than that.
Oh, we are going forever.
We're going
forever. 20 years time.
Don't you ever leave me.
Every day we'll be checking in.
The cool thing about the accountability group for me is I made a commitment. They asked me to do this, and I was like, dang it. I gotta say yes.
Right?
Because I'm competitive, and I'm like, so what is this accountability group? They didn't invite me sooner? What is wrong with these people? Right? I didn't really say that, but I was so excited to be in there in the cool kid club, right? And it was really neat to come in and be part of the group. And it is a lot of fun. So if you are going to start an accountability group, I know Steve, I believe it was, reached out in the inner circle and reached out to people. He sends me a message like, I got so many people asking, who do I pick? So just pick the ones that replied first.
Right.
Then tell the other ones to go get and start another accountability group. And the cool thing about it is you want to keep it intimate, no more than 6 or 7 people. We've got 6. And the part of the accountability group, it's you. It's you showing up and putting in your numbers every day and asking some questions and bouncing stuff off of each other and staying positive and building cool friendships, right? This is like, it's very, very neat. I can't wait till we can be at a freaking conference and we can get the hugs out of the trunk and give some hugs and have some fun and go out to dinner and do all that kind of fun stuff. In the meantime, we'll just have to send virtual hugs and all that other kind of stuff. So let's see, there was another question in here. Let's see. Where'd it go? Hold on. My wife is just bringing all the heat for us tonight here.
She sure is. I love it.
What happens when you get your spouse involved, then they quit the business? Should you feel some kind of way? There's a quiz.
See, this is why you should never convince him in the first place. This is why I'm like, my husband is sitting on the couch playing video games. We are good.
Oh my goodness.
I think it's like with anyone that comes. I think it's like with anyone that comes into your business. You know, a lot of us get really attached to that person and they're going to do something with you. And you're super excited and then they're excited and then they leave you. And you're like, whoo, you have to realize that it's their journey, no one else's. And so even for yourself, you take a step back when you need to take a step back, right? And you move forward when you want to move forward. And I don't expect, someone else to just do what I'm telling them to do or to keep the same energy that I have or what have you, because we all have our different lives. We have things going on in our lives. And there's sometimes it's like, this isn't my top priority, or this isn't the number one thing for me to be doing right now. So I need to take a little break, or maybe they do need to actually, maybe they found that this isn't what they thought it would be, and they are not a network marketer, and that's totally fine. And so you just have to love them, right? But where they're at, and then just know that people come and go, and it's okay. Even your spouse.
I absolutely love that answer. I think for me, and I'm going to talk directly to my wife, because we've been this. We were in a business together, and I was, she just was like not feeling it. She just, was just not feeling it. Fell out of love with the business, and it honestly took a little bit, because my goal and my dream is to have my wife as my business partner in business, and that's like my thing, like the left and the right, sort of like Jock, have that business partner that we're running together. And it took me a while to figure out that my wife is doing her business and I'm doing my business, and we're both entrepreneurs together. How can I take my skill set and help her create her freedom? Just like everybody else I want to impact, right? How can I find out what my wife's passion is and completely 100 support that and be absolutely okay with that when she's building her virtual boutique business? How can I support her without pushing her too far? I'm saying, hey, babe, I can help you set up a shopping cart when you're ready. I can help you do some marketing when you're ready. How soon do you think you want to make your X goals? Just like I would ask anybody else, what do you want to do? What do you want to accomplish this month? Well, I want to do X. Are you sure? Because I'm going to bring the heat, right? If you want me to, right? If you want me to. And it's the same thing. It's like, if somebody comes to me and says, Forrest, I want you to coach me, I'm like, are you sure? Are you sure about that? Because it's a difference in doing like these Facebook lives and then get intimate and saying, I'm going to do this, right? Are you sure? Because when you put that out there, I'm pushing. I'm really, yeah, I bring the heat. My wife says he brings the heat. and I do, because that's where it's like head down, fire hustle. It's fun for me. So when your spouse leaves the business and decides that they don't want to do it, it's okay. They came in the business for a reason, because there's something in there they're looking for. So how do we help them find that, whatever that is, right? Just like anybody else. How do we help them find it? Can we teach them to market? Can we teach them to prospect? Can we teach them whatever they need to do to help them move to the next level so they can go out and conquer their dreams just like anybody else, right? Anybody else want to chime in on that? Somebody's got to have a couple more questions here, because we've been running now right at an hour. We're right at the top of an hour. If there's no more final questions here, we're gonna close out, and I'm just gonna run through the lineup here. I'll hit a hide button on that one. We'll bring back up everybody. So just closing out. There was a question that I had. I wrote it down. Let me see if I can find it. So closing out. So, and I asked this question. Earlier today. I'm going to ask it again. In terms of your vision, and I think Doc Gardner may have played on this a little bit. So, what is your vision? What is like your? And we talked about whys. This is a little bit bigger than your why. What is your vision? Where do you truly see yourself? Like down the road, 5 years, 10 years, whatever. What is your big freaking vision? What do you see like your life? What's your life look like? Down the road. What do you truly envision it? Are you standing on stage in front of 10,000 people? What is your true vision? Kendra, go.
I think
Forrest should go first.
Who?
I think let Forrest go first. I want to hear what Forrest has to say first.
Forrest, you're on the hot seat. Go.
Forrest, you should go first. I know you're the interviewee, but I want to hear what you got going on.
Okay, I'll go first. All
right.
I can bring it. So Glow, to answer Glow's question, I'm what do you call it? Anyway, Glow, we're all red, I pretty much think. So my vision, and it goes back, and I don't know if you guys know this story, and I know I've told it to Elsa, but one of my stories many years ago when I first got involved in my first network marketing company, which starts with an A and it's Amway, and it's total old school marketing. I mean, it's total old school. Take the kit to somebody's house, drop it off, do the follow up. I mean, it's old school. But I remember one of my favorite places to go hang out was Borders bookstores. And one of my favorite articles to read when I'm not reading some type of motivational self-improvement book are magazines. I love magazines. That's my thing. And I love anything that has to do with like how to build something magazine, or just like a success magazine, entrepreneur magazine, something like that. And I remember picking up, I think I still have it down in my trunk of stuff that I keep, a success magazine. And there was a story in there about Tony Robbins. And for those of you, if you don't know who Tony Robbins is, I can't help you with that one. But Tony Robbins, I'm reading this story about Tony Robbins and how he was overweight and how he had this, I was reading this story and he told a little story and I was like, man. Now I'm talking, let's see, my son is 29. So this was like, I think it was before he was born. So it was like a long time ago. I mean, it was a long time. It was when I first got in network marketing. And I'm reading this magazine and I'm just like enamored with like, man, that's cool. And I can vision him, and he tells a story how he's flying into Los Angeles in his helicopter and he's looking down on all the streets and there's all this traffic down there, traffic stop. He's like, what's going on with all these people in this traffic? And he lands and he gets to the event. All these people are coming to see him, right? They were coming to see him, and he tells the story how he walked out on stage and there was tens of thousands of people, and he was just like, he was overwhelmed and amazed at where he had gone. And if you know a story about him living in an apartment and going through all the struggles and just his life story is crazy. I said, I want to do what he does. I actually said that out loud sitting in and I was just like looking at this magazine. My eyes were this big. I was like, it's like a kid in a candy shop. I was like, man, I want to do what he does. I want to be up in front of thousands of people, and I want to motivate them, and I want to inspire them, and I want to help them change their lives. And that's what I want to do, right? And I put it out into the universe. I bought the magazine, and I literally carried that sucker around in my briefcase, and I would read the story, and I bought his books, Unlimited Power, Awaken the Giant Within, all of those books. And then I moved to Hawaii, and I got a chance to work at one of his franchises and actually, work with his business, selling unlimited power weekends and breakthrough weekends. And it was a very, very cool experience, along with doing network marketing and a regular job in the car sales business. It was and I put that out there, right? Out in the universe, went on, life is going on, life is going on. I just actually sort of forgot that I actually said that, right? I actually forgot that I said that's where I wanted to go. And next thing you know, life's going on. I get into this new opportunity this last September, and it's just, everything just feels right, right? And then I go to Rankmakers Live, and I drag my wife along. She's like, I don't want to go to one of these negative or one of these motivational deals. I just don't want to be motivated. And she's in Rankmaker, and she's like, this is cool. This is different. This is like real business, and this, I like this. And she's there, she's taking notes, and she's involved. And she's like, and we get down to the point where they're asking people if they want to get in the coaching program. And I'm like, yes. No, actually, let me take that back. I just lied. I was like thinking about it, and I'm sitting there and I'm going through like, I don't, I'm struggling. And my wife does a question statement. She looks at me and says, she says, we're going to do coaching, right? And I was like, oh, okay. And here's the funny thing about it is took the action step, got involved, and I told this story to Coach Elsa, what I just told you guys, along with I want my business to explode. And next thing you know, I'm being invited to be a coach with the Ray Higby group. And I'm like, what? Really? And, thinking about that, of being able to inspire and impact people, going way back to what I put out many, many years ago, brought all that forward. And then working with Coach Elsa and being able to impact people and fill the refrigerators and being able to move things and being able to have groups like this and being able to see the vision of standing up in front of a room and being a speaker and speaking impact into people's lives is this freaking close. So to answer your question, that's my vision, is being able to inspire people, impact people, pour into people, move people, get people out of their own way, and realize from the struggle, from overcoming and hearing the stories, and know that there's people that, just like in this accountability group, that need to hear that. The doctors who want to spend more time with their family, the Kendras who want to impact ridiculously poor communities. I mean, the Jacques who want to make an impact that has an eternal impact on people and see people cross the stage. So there's my supervision, is to stand in front of a room in a stadium with tens of thousands of people, knowing that somewhere in that group I've impacted tens of thousands of lives forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. That's mine.
Love it. Love it.
Awesome, man.
Tough act to follow.
Yeah, right.
I know, right?
Why did you say to go first?
Yeah, why did you say to go
I know.
first?
I like it.
Bringing the heat. Oh
He's
my goodness.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Is it my turn?
Who's next?
You want to go? Go, Kendra.
Okay, I'll go. So ultimately, I want to see women, specifically women, moms, honestly, making an impact in whatever way they want to from working with me. Because in my story, I explained that I wanted to fill my empty refrigerator of seeing that I wasn't in this dark place of being alone as a mom, like a stay-at-home mom. And so ultimately, I want to see all of these moms coming together and actually walking into whatever it is that they want, like what they truly want, and not being afraid of showing up as themselves. Because for a long time, when I was, a year and a half ago, I was in this place where I truly felt like I was alone. And I know there's so many moms out there that are, maybe they're staying at home with their kids, or maybe they're working full time and they're not seeing their kids that much. That aloneness is still there. That void feeling of, I know I deserve better, is still there. And so ultimately, I want to see these women, these mothers, show up and be who they want to be. And ultimately, I just see, I see myself on stage, and I see all these women thanking me as I'm crossing stage. But while they're thanking me, I'm thanking them for bringing me on this journey with them. And so ultimately, that's what I see myself doing. Yep.
Beautiful.
And
Thank you.
All
right. I always thought that I would always bring how do I want to say this? I will help people with my voice, and I always thought it was vocally, because I've been always a vocalist for all my little life. I started when I was 4 singing, but I'm realizing it's not just my voice to sing, but it's also my voice to actually speak to people. And as I'm going through this journey of just my life in general, when it comes to being in debt, when it comes to getting healthier, when it comes to running a business, when it comes to being a woman that is wanting to achieve more in her life and not be normal, quote unquote normal, which is, most people are in debt. Most people are not as healthy as they should be, or what have you, and are not going towards their dreams. I want to be able to show people that it can be done, even on the spectrum when it's like on the negative end, that you can overcome. And I really always love those stories when I read them, when I see them, people coming to their into their truth and who they really are, because not being as healthy, or not having, or having a lot of debt and all that stuff, is not who you are. That's just a symptom of choices that we've made. But there's something in us that is bigger and more powerful, and we're all on this earth to do something amazing, whatever it is. We all have talents in our own areas. I know when people tell me like, oh, you're a singer, that's your talent. I mean, that's not the only thing. I have a voice for other things in my life, and I just want to be able to, I obviously I like to be on stage too, because I'm a singer and all that performance. So I always imagine myself on stage and singing inspirational songs, being able to share stories of people that have overcome, as well as motivating people and showing people that it can be done, that you can get out of debt, you can be healthier, you can be, do extremely well in your business. Like Oprah. Like, come on now, who doesn't love Oprah? She has such a wonderful story from like, being broke and being hurt when she was younger and all of those things, and growing up to be such an impactful woman on this earth. And that's something I strive to be, is be able to find a way and an avenue to be able to impact the world in a positive way. And I feel it's with my voice, whether it's speaking to someone or singing to someone. So that's my vision.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Bobby?
Yes. So, vision. When I look back 5 years from now, one of the first stories I want to tell is a story like in this group. Just taking this group, what we're doing right now, and being able to, for that to be one of the stories I tell to not just a stage, but stages. May it be virtual, or if we're ever going to be back to normalcy, we could actually be on a stage. But to tell a story of where you were and where you're at that present moment. And it just goes through the things that you learned and the challenges that you went through to be to the point where you're at that stage, and you're telling a story like this to thousands of people who are tuning in or looking right at you, based on that you were just like them 5 years ago or whatever time it is, and now you could tell a story of what you had and the challenges, but the success that you've accomplished, and now that you could share. It doesn't matter what level of success. It could be, a success where you went from having a job to not having one, or to live in a certain neighborhood or now living in a different neighborhood. It's not about complete to me, success is never complete and it's never perfect, because you're growing and you're learning every stage. Every stage you go, there's going to be something up there to challenge you. They say the air is thinnest at the top, and I haven't gotten to that point yet. So it's just going through a stage. So that's my vision: being able to impact individuals on that level. And from a monetary standpoint, I like to do things like, Ray talks about it, but it's always been something I like to do, like go to like a third world country like Africa and do like water wells, and do a lot of deal with a lot of nonprofit, and a lot of, like donating your time. Because at a point when you're financially to the point where you're comfortable, that's the time. Before that, because we do that every week with our Wealth Wednesday, but you're more at a point where you could even do more, because you've grown into that mindset, that money mindset. So I want to be at that point in time where I'm financially supporting different nonprofits of choice, and being able to watch how that nonprofit, is actually going out there and doing something that's worthwhile in this world, and and adding value to someone's life, and just making a big difference. So that's a vision I see, a 5-year, 10-year vision down the road, is being able to be part of things like that on a continual basis.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That's your
Thank
shot.
Yes. Mine's a little bit different. I mean, I want to impact people, and I have a shorter time frame to do things in. And my vision is really to not only help the numbers of people that you're talking about, but also being able to mold the leaders that are going to be on the stage. I want to be incognito in reality. And I want to create those leaders. My wife and I, you've heard our story before, we've seen the world, but we haven't seen the US really. And so I've got a short-term goal for myself, a selfish one, in where I want to have an RV for my 85th birthday. And that doesn't mean I'm retiring. No, that's not going to happen. But as long as we have an internet connection, we can do this on the road. It's not a work from home. It's a work from anywhere. And I don't see an end. I mean, there obviously will be an end, but I don't look at that. I just know that my time is a little bit more limited than most. And I do want to see the U.S. I've seen the world, but not the U.S. And there's lots of beautiful places to see in the U.S. And while I'm seeing the U.S., I still want to be impacting people's lives.
Absolutely awesome, awesome. Doc Gardner, bring us home.
Whew. All right. Wow, where to start? I had a coach, the first coach I ever worked with, not a network marketing coach, just a coach. And she said to me, you can't ever be scared of what people are going to think if it's going to help one person. So you always just focus on that one person and forget the rest. And that pushed me to do my first video ever, not a Facebook Live, but just I recorded this little 4-minute video and I posted it. And I felt like the floor was going to fall out from underneath me after I posted it, because I talked about my history of depression. And I was actually talking about the fact that I had hit November, I was on no medication, and I was happy. And it hit me because I didn't even know, that had never happened to me before. And I was in my 30s. And I'm like, there's hope. There's hope for people. Like, people have to know this. And so I shared this video, and more than 5,000 people saw it, which was wild because I haven't had that many views on a video since, let's be serious. But I had someone reach out. I had a lot of women comment on it. I had a lot of men message me. And I got a message from somebody that I knew from childhood. And he said, I saw your video and I broke down. He said, I was ready to kill myself. It's like, I stopped. I didn't go into, I went to my doctor. I got help. He got off drugs. Like, he wrote me a year after he saw the video to tell me he'd been clean for a year and that what he saw had changed his life. And it changed my life. I got nice messages and stuff in between, but that changed my life. And I thought, if I just keep getting more confident and I just keep growing as a human being and I'm able to share more, like Bobby, you said, like, share more of the struggle, share more of the hard stuff and show people what's possible, then my life will be have been such a success. And so, like many of you on here, I want to be on that stage. I want to be speaking to so many people and make them understand what's possible and what you can overcome. And so that's where I see myself. I didn't know Tony Robbins existed, but when I was a kid, I had in my head, I'm like, I want to be a coach. I thought I was just going to go into people's lives and just like show them like, this isn't efficient and this relationship and let's do this and let's fix this and you can do better. Like, just, I wanted to help people like in that way, but I didn't know it existed. So again, went into medicine. But yeah, I see myself coaching. I see myself just touching lives, and I see myself earning at least 7 figures in this industry. I'm going to put that as a minimum. And I think about how many people I'm going to help build an income, but change their life, more importantly. And for me, I have in my head, like, donating at least 6 figures to charity every year. Yeah, I just envision this massive life that I never would have even fathomed could be possible without this industry. Yeah.
Absolutely awesome. So one of the things, I just want to thank everybody that joined in, checked in. If something that you heard tonight just really struck you, take that and freaking run with it. Don't sit on it. Start right now. Sit down, reach out to somebody. If it's just one person, reach out and ask them if they're open to taking a look at your product, service, or opportunity. You just never know who you're going to make an impact. A couple of other things. One is, if you have a company event coming up, whether it's virtual or live, get a ticket and go to that event. The last event that I went to with our company before the world shut down was in February, and I wasn't expecting anything because I've been to a lot of events, and it completely changed my mindset there. I know Dr. Gardner was there. I think Bobby was there. I mean, it was a mind shift event for me, and it was a rah event, and it was a rah event. It was a mind shift event. It was an action event. It was just a lot, right? And I'm so glad that I did that. The other event that changed my life was Rankmakers Live last October, which absolutely impacted. Recommend, if you don't have a company event coming up here soon in the next short little while, I recommend, I'm going to post the link to Rankmakers Live in the chat down there. I recommend going and registering for this. There's going to be some speakers at this event that are going to bring the heat. You're going to hear something from somebody that's going to impact you, that's going to inspire you, that maybe make you might make that little bit of a business tweak that's going to move you in another direction. I know for me, it completely changed my life. It brought that spoken word that I put out about inspiring people and wanting to do what Anthony Robbins did many years ago. It's bringing it to like truth, you know. It's bringing it to reality. Being able to coach people. I'm like, really? The little skinny black kid who never had nothing to eat at the end of the month is like coaching people? Awesome. And that's, you think about that, when you can feel about that stuff, when you get that feeling, that's when it's cool. And then you have a group of people that invite you into accountability group. It's cool, right? It's you're not the last one being picked to be on the baseball team or the football team. It's making that decision to show up is very, very important. So recommend the Rank Makers Live event, recommend going to your next event, and last but not least, get an accountability group. Get some people that you can move and shake with and build some relationship with, and that's going to push you to your next level. And it's absolutely going to just, I'm saying this, sometimes when you're out doing this by yourself, you feel like you're on an island, and you're looking back at people saying, and you're listening to stuff. So isn't everybody doing this? Isn't everybody reaching out to this many people? What are they? Why are they? That's me. It's like, you're reaching out to hundreds of people a day, and everybody else is reaching out to 5. And you're going, what's wrong with these people? That's me. I'm being honest. I'm being true. But being able to show up in an accountability group, going to an event, plugging into Rank Makers Live, it's made a huge mindset shift for me and how I show up. And every single day, something different happens. The stories that I heard today, something different happens. The interviews that I do, something different happens. When I get a chance to coach somebody, something different happens. And it helps me grow as a person and make a huge, huge impact. So absolutely, Gay says we got to hold another one of these round tables for sure, for sure. But I love you, truly love you guys for showing up. Truly appreciate you for showing up. Absolutely go out and crush the world. Make a huge impact. Don't quit.
No, don't quit.
I'm done. So love
Don't
you guys.
quit.
I'm out.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.